to be.
But I must say, very well-dressed students, huh? I was like in a baggy, loose t-shirt and a shorts all the time when I was in college back then. We have like everybody suited, booted, and all of that.
Many, by the way, सिर्फ आज के लिए पहना. I don't usually wear.
Okay, so we're very thrilled to be hosting the iconic Ghazal Alagh on our Masters Union Business School campus here today. And Ghazal, you're just so many things that I'm sure I'll miss a few feathers from your cap here and there, so bear with me. Ghazal is a loving mother to 2 kids, a pet parent. Then you're also a mega Instagram influencer. Anyone who's not following her Instagram channel is really missing on some serious leadership advice. So would advise you to follow her. Then you've also been the beloved shark of the entire country. And if I go back in time a little bit, you were born and brought up in Chandigarh. And you started your career as a corporate trainer.
Yes.
And from there, you even went to New York Academy of Art. And you took some intense art courses is what I read on your bio.
Yes.
And then you founded Mamaearth, a brand we're all well aware of and have been using. A company that moved from zero to a unicorn status in just 5 years. And for a lot of you who do not know, Mamaearth is actually a brand under the company umbrella of Honasa Consumers Private Limited. And there are 5 more brands under Honasa's umbrella, which is Be Blunt, Aqualogica, Dr. Sets, Ayuga, and the Derma Company.
Yes.
So 5 additional kick-ass brands in making, or they're already out there. And I think for me and many other founders, Ghazal, you and the Mamaearth brand have been like synonymous with the rise of entire D2C ecosystem in India. And you've led it from the front. So we are very excited, thrilled to have you on campus today. You're a source of inspiration for so many of us. And without further ado, I would just kick this session up with some questions for you.
Well, so इतनी तारीफ आज तक किसी ने मेरी की नहीं है. I will start with that. Right? You've just ensured कि आपने से चने के पेड़ पे, झाड़ पे चढ़ा दिया मुझे. So I think I'm a very, very simple, regular, middle-class girl. I grew up back in Chandigarh. मेरे parents भी, middle-class family, घर का business. So I've like seen a lot of ups and downs growing up. So that's where I come from, right? And certain values, जब आप middle class family में grow करते हो, I think, and I was raised in a joint family. So a lot of values around how do you value people, how do you value relationship, what's the importance of money, etc. came to me very early. And after that, I was not a rock star kid. Let me just be very, very honest about it. मैं बहुत ही regular बच्ची थी जो पढ़ाई में भी ठीक थी, स्पोर्ट्स में भी ठीक थी, उसके अलावा पेंटिंग भी कर लेती थी. तो I was termed as an all-rounder, but of course, master of none and jack of all kind of a person, right? And I've actually, Mamaearth or Honasa is not my first venture. So while we always talk about what has been good in our lives, we rarely talk about when did that good come or what was your past learning or journey like, right? And for the longest period of time, I remember, calling myself a failure because there was no clarity. I was doing so many things and not mastering or not creating like real value out of anything. And I used to wonder, when I raise my kids, what am I going to tell them? What did I do in life, right? Where was I back in the years when I was supposed to create something? And so, just to give you a summary of how my journey shaped. So 10th tak, very good kid, amongst the top 5 in class. Parents thought math science mein itni achhi hai. Of course, the natural route had to be non-medical, taking up maths and science forward and doing engineering, right? So they advised, I said, okay, I took up maths and science in +1, +2. And then when you're doing really well, you have certain sense of confidence, right? Okay, मैं तो figure out कर लेती हूँ, मैं ये भी figure out कर लूँगी. Hi, how are you? So I think 11th was the first time when I actually got aware about myself when I flunked in maths in the first semester itself.
Wow.
And for me, failing was anything below 50% because that was the usual passing number in my school because I came from an ICSE board. But then 43 aaye the, so I just realized I've crossed that
chasm is crossed.
Yes, by just 1%, and I was like, okay, nobody called home and stuff. That did not happen. But I realized that while I loved maths, but what they were teaching in +1, +2 was something which was out of my comfort area. I was not able to understand it. And I took computers on the side as a side subject to experiment, and I loved that. I created something. I got like 94 percentile in computers compared to a science or a maths where I was like 50s and 60s and all of that. And I think the only good thing about me back then was identifying what I wanted to do then, right? So I went to my parents that spent a lot of money coaching centers mein enroll karana and IIT and JEE and CAT and all those preps and examinations, right? And right before examination, I go to them and I say, you know what? I don't want to give the exams. And they were taken aback. They were like, we've spent, and a middle class family spending so much, right? Subah 5 baje utke tuitions jaate the, raat ko 9 baje tak classes hoti thi and all of that. And they were like, what happened? And I said, see, my biggest worry is what if I pass? Then you'll push me to take it up. And I don't think it's something that interests me. I don't want to do it. And it was, I still remember my legs were shaking, my hands were shaking when I was talking to them because, hey, I had wasted a lot of their money, hard-earned money, right? But they were supportive. They said, if that's your call, okay, but let us also tell you, we will not be putting in any more money. You go to a regular college, you do your simple graduation, we'll sponsor you for 1 year, but after that, you need to make your own money and you need to earn everything that you want to do yourself because we don't have. And, my mother has always been a propagator of earning your own money. And she was always like, अगर आपको अपने decisions खुद लेने हैं life में, तो आपको अपना पैसा खुद कमाना पड़ेगा. If you're taking it from anybody else, doesn't matter if it's your husband, if it's your parent, if it's your brother, sister, you'll always have to justify कि यहाँ पे क्यों spend करना है या ये choice आप क्यों बना रहे हो. So I think that got to me like, one, there was a guilt feeling that I'd wasted a lot of money. Second, I was like, मेरे पास 1 साल ही है, now I need to figure it out. And I think in between my graduation itself, I took up my first job. I was studying with an IIT as well as a side institute because that was the course that I really wanted to do, and college was for graduation for a degree.
Right.
That's where I, took up a small training course. I said that all we wanted to do were the softwares that we were developing, which was of course with like a massive 25 people strong leadership team. We had to go to offices to train the employees on how can they use that software and become better and more efficient in their work. So हमने बनाया था, हमें तो एक feature पता था. It was actually very easy. So I was going training 55, 60-year-old people कि इसको ऐसे use करना है. People who had not even explored how to use computer a lot. So I think that was my first stint. Very little money, but I was earning about 3,000-4,000 a month out of the stipend बुलाते थे उस time पे, which was an internship fee, right? And that just made me feel so good that I had my own money, whatever little it was. Of course, I could not fund my education back then, but it helped me. Pocket money jo hoti hai na, wo I sort of took care of. So, and after that, I think there was no looking back. I just, I was the youngest in my college to get into a job. I was the only student in my college whom principal had allowed to skip classes and go take this up because she felt, at the end of it, colleges need to give jobs. And this girl, if she's already getting it in the first year itself, what better than that?
Right.
And I just kept growing in that same field. I learned Oracle, Java, SQL, and those were the technologies that I was learning back then. Of course, I have no clue of what's happening now. Very top level view of technology and what we are doing at Mamaearth is all that I'm aware about. But that's how I started. And was doing well, eventually got married and then decided that, okay, job bahut ho gayi now. And because I had some of this technical background, I was personally trying to lose weight. And it ended up being very difficult because I was married, we were moving countries, right? For a while, we were in Delhi, then we moved to Philippines, then we were somewhere else. We came back to Bombay, and having a dietitian or a fitness coach was not making sense, right? Because physical training, etc., could not happen.
Right.
So that was the time when I thought that if I'm going through this personal struggle, right? Actually, diet plan should be available online, or fitness plan should be available online. कि कहीं पे भी आप जा रहे हो, you have access to this. And that was my first startup idea, right? I launched it in the name of dietexpert.in. Did that for about a year, miserably failed. The entire model was that I would give these diet plans free of cost to consumers and charge brands that I'm advising to give me, money, and charge them basically for each recommendation that we were making. And it did hit a certain level, but then after that, I could not scale it up. So that was my first failure per se.